There are moments in the world of fandom when a single sentence can make millions of hearts pause, not because it confirms anything dramatic, but because it feels real, human, and unexpectedly sincere. Recently, fans found themselves revisiting one of those moments when Park Jimin spoke openly about what he admires most about Jungkook. What began as a simple comment during an interview or casual conversation quickly turned into a wave of discussion across the fandom. The questions suddenly spread everywhere. What exactly did Jimin say about Jungkook that touched people so deeply? If you have followed their journey for years, you already know that the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook has always been fascinating. Their chemistry has evolved from playful teasing to quiet loyalty, from youthful competition to a bond that feels steady and deeply rooted. But hearing Jimin reflect on Jungkook in such a heartfelt way reminded fans why their relationship continues to capture attention around the world. So what was it that made Jimin speak so warmly about Jungkook? According to Jimin, the thing that impressed him the most was not simply Jungkook's talent or fame. Instead, it was something far more personal and revealing about who Jungkook truly is behind the stage lights. Jimin described Jungkook as someone who constantly pushes himself to grow, someone who never settles even when the world already calls him extraordinary. Think about that for a moment. Jungkook debuted at a very young age. From the beginning, he was known as the Golden Maknae, a nickname given because of his ability to excel at almost everything he tried: singing, dancing, performing, even sports and art. But what Jimin seemed to admire most was not the label itself, but the mindset behind it. He once mentioned that Jungkook is the type of person who practices long after everyone else has left the room, the kind of person who quietly studies his own performances, searching for ways to improve even when fans already consider them perfect. Isn't that a powerful thing to notice about someone? When Jimin talked about this, fans could sense the sincerity in his voice. It didn't sound like a rehearsed compliment. It sounded like something you would say about a person you've watched closely for years. And that makes sense, because Jimin has known Jungkook since the earliest days of their training. They spent countless hours in practice rooms, dorms, airports, and tour buses. They experienced the overwhelming pressure of debuting together, growing up in front of cameras, and carrying the expectations of millions of fans. When you share that kind of journey with someone, you begin to notice details that outsiders might never see. Jimin once joked that Jungkook has a habit of quietly practicing when nobody is paying attention, not to impress anyone, not for recognition, but simply because he wants to be better than he was yesterday. Now imagine being someone who witnesses that dedication every single day. Wouldn't it naturally inspire admiration? Many fans believe that this is exactly what happened with Jimin. Over time, watching Jungkook's relentless determination may have shaped the respect he feels toward him. It's not just about talent, it's about the work behind the talent. But there's another layer that makes this story even more interesting. Despite Jungkook's incredible abilities, Jimin has also talked about how humble he remains. Even after achieving global fame, Jungkook often acts shy, playful, or even a little unsure of himself. He laughs easily, jokes at the members, and sometimes looks surprised when people praise him. For Jimin, this combination of talent and humility seems to be something truly special. Think about it. In an industry where confidence is often loud and flashy, Jungkook's personality feels different. He doesn't constantly remind people of his achievements. Instead, he focuses on doing his best and letting the results speak for themselves. Could that quiet confidence be what makes him stand out even more? Fans often discuss how Jimin's perspective reveals something deeper about their friendship. Rather than competing with Jungkook, Jimin appears to genuinely celebrate his growth. That kind of support is not always easy to maintain in a highly competitive environment like the music industry. Yet, with them, it seems natural. There have been countless moments over the years that show this dynamic. During performances, Jimin often glances towards Jungkook with a proud smile after a difficult note or intense dance sequence. In behind-the-scenes clips, he sometimes laughs when Jungkook shows off a new skill, whether it's boxing, painting, or producing music. Those reactions might look small, but fans notice everything. and they often ask themselves what makes their connection feel so genuine. One possible answer is time. Jimin and Jungkook didn't meet as established stars. They met as teenagers with big dreams and uncertain futures. They trained together, struggled together, and celebrated their first successes together. That shared history creates a bond that is difficult to replicate. Imagine going through the most formative years of your life with the same group of people. Imagine facing criticism, exhaustion, and pressure side by side. Over time, those experiences can turn colleagues into something closer to family. When Jimin talks about Jungkook now, there is a sense that he is remembering that entire journey, not just the polished image fans see today. And perhaps that is why his words resonate so strongly, because they remind us that behind every global superstar is a human story. A story of practice rooms, late-night conversations, moments of doubt, and quiet determination. Jimin's admiration for Jungkook doesn't feel like a dramatic confession designed for headlines. Instead, it feels like something much more relatable, the simple realization that someone you care about has worked incredibly hard to become who they are. Have you ever experienced that feeling? Watching a friend grow, improve, and chase their dreams can be surprisingly emotional. You start to see them differently, appreciating qualities that others might overlook. Maybe that's exactly what Jimin meant. Another interesting aspect of their dynamic is how their personalities complement each other. Jimin is often described as warm, expressive, and deeply attentive to the people around him. Jungkook, on the other hand, sometimes appears more reserved or introspective. When these two personalities interact, something unique happens. Jimin brings emotional openness, while Jungkook brings quiet intensity. Together, they create moments that feel both playful and sincere. Fans have seen this balance many times, whether they are joking during live broadcasts or sharing heartfelt messages during concerts. Their interactions often carry a sense of authenticity that is difficult to fake. But why do these moments capture so much attention? Part of the reason might be because people love witnessing genuine connections. In a world where many celebrity relationships feel distant or carefully managed, the bond between BTS members often appears refreshingly real. When Jimin compliments Jungkook, it doesn't sound like a promotional line. It sounds like a friend speaking honestly about another friend. That authenticity is powerful. It also reminds fans of something important. Success is rarely achieved alone. Behind every performer are the teammates who encouraged them, challenged them, and believed in them during difficult times. In Jungkook's case, Jimin seems to be one of those people. And in many ways, the admiration goes both directions. Jungkook has also spoken about how much he respects Jimin's dedication to his craft. He once mentioned how hard Jimin works on perfecting choreography, often repeating the same move until it feels exactly right. So perhaps what we are really witnessing is a cycle of mutual inspiration. Jimin sees Jungkook's determination and feels motivated. Jungkook sees Jimin's discipline and feels inspired in return. Over time, that energy pushes both of them to grow stronger as artists. Isn't that the kind of friendship everyone hopes to have? A relationship where both people quietly push each other towards their best selves. For fans who have followed their journey since the early days of BTS, this perspective adds emotional depth to every performance and interview. When they watch Jimin and Jungkook on stage now, they are not just seeing two talented performers, they are seeing years of shared effort and encouragement. And maybe that's why even a small comment from Jimin can spark such a big reaction, because it reminds everyone of the human story behind the music. Of course, interpretations will always vary. Some fans view these moments simply as a reflection of strong friendship and respect. Others enjoy imagining deeper emotional narratives. Both perspectives exist within the fandom, and that diversity of interpretation is part of what makes fan culture so lively. What matters most is that the conversation remains respectful and positive. At the end of the day, Jimin's words highlight something universal: admiration for someone who refuses to stop growing. In a world where many people chase quick success, Jungkook's relentless effort stands out, and hearing Jimin acknowledge that effort reminds fans that even the most successful artists continue working behind the scenes. Maybe that realization can inspire us too. After all, growth doesn't happen overnight. It comes from countless small steps, quiet practice sessions, and the determination to keep going even when progress feels slow. Jungkook's story shows that talent becomes truly powerful when it is paired with discipline. And Jimin's perspective reminds us that recognizing someone else's hard work can be just as meaningful as achieving success ourselves. So the next time you watch a performance or listen to one of their songs, try to look beyond the spotlight. Think about the years of training, the friendships formed along the way, and the quiet moments that shaped the artists we see today. You might discover that those unseen stories make the music even more powerful. And now we're curious about your thoughts. Do you think Jimin's admiration for Jungkook comes mainly from watching his dedication over the years? Or do you believe there are other qualities about Jungkook that make him so inspiring to the people around him? Maybe it's his work ethic, maybe it's his humility, or maybe it's something even more subtle that only those closest to him can fully understand. Whatever the answer may be,